They thought she was just the new girl who would not last a month, and they said it loud enough for her to hear, but everything changed the night a wounded Marine looked up from the operating table and whispered her real name. Dr. Maya Hart joined the hospital quietly, with no grand introduction and no famous last name attached to her badge. She wore simple scrubs, kept her hair tied back, and spoke only when necessary. The staff saw her as inexperienced. Some nurses were polite but distant. A few surgeons smirked when she offered suggestions. The chief of surgery, Drive, Raymond Cole, was powerful, respected, and feared in every corridor. He had built his reputation over decades. He liked control. He liked obedience. And he did not like surprises. From the first day, he treated Maya as if she were temporary. During rounds, he interrupted her. In meetings, he dismissed her opinions without even looking at her charts. Once, in front of the entire surgical team, he said the hospital was not a training ground for fragile newcomers. The room had gone silent. Maya did not respond. She simply nodded and continued taking notes. Inside, she felt the sting of humiliation, but her face remained calm. Sadness came first. Not anger, not resentment, just a deep sadness that her years of sacrifice meant nothing here. She had worked in places far harsher than this bright, polished hospital. She had seen things that left permanent shadows in her memory. But she never spoke about it. Her file said she had transferred from a military medical unit overseas. It did not say more. The whispers began anyway. Some assumed she had been an assistant. Others thought she had left because she could not handle pressure. Dr. Cole never bothered to check. He believed experience had a certain look, and Maya did not fit that image. Weeks passed. Maya worked long shifts without complaint. She volunteered for night duty. She stayed late to review cases others ignored. Still, she was treated like an outsider. The helplessness settled in slowly. She knew she was capable. She knew she had led trauma surgeries in field hospitals under fire. But here, in this clean and controlled environment, she was invisible. She considered leaving more than once. The weight of being underestimated can be heavier than physical exhaustion. Yet beneath that helplessness, a quiet hope remained. She did not need applause. She only needed one honest chance. One moment where skill mattered more than ego. She waited patiently. One stormy night, the emergency doors burst open. Paramedics rushed in with a critically wounded Marine. He had suffered severe internal injuries from a training accident. Blood loss was heavy. Time was short. The trauma team assembled quickly. Dr. Cole took command, his voice sharp and confident. Maya stood to the side, ready but silent. As the patient was wheeled toward the operating room, his eyes fluttered open briefly. He looked at Maya and froze. His lips moved weakly. He whispered, "Captain Hart." The room paused. Dr. Cole frowned, assuming the patient was confused. But the Marine gripped Maya's sleeve with surprising strength. He said she had saved his unit overseas. He said she had performed surgery in a tent during an attack while others evacuated. His voice was fading, but his words were clear. Dr. Cole's expression hardened. He brushed it off and ordered everyone to focus. Inside the operating room, complications appeared quickly. Dr. Cole attempted a standard procedure, but unexpected bleeding made visibility poor. Minutes felt like seconds. The patient's vitals dropped. Anxiety filled the room. Maya stepped closer and quietly suggested an alternative approach. Dr. Cole snapped at her to step back. He said he was in charge. She obeyed, but her eyes never left the monitor. The Marine's heart rhythm weakened. A nurse looked at Maya with fear. In that moment, sadness and helplessness met a silent decision. Maya spoke again, calmly but firmly. She said there was a vascular tear that needed a different entry angle. Dr. Cole hesitated. His authority was absolute in that room. Yet the patient was slipping away. Finally, with visible irritation, he allowed her to proceed. Maya moved with steady hands. Her voice was low and clear as she directed the team. She adjusted instruments, controlled the bleeding, and located the tear exactly where she predicted. The room shifted. The tension became focused energy. Slowly, the patient stabilized. The monitor's rhythm returned to a steady pattern. Hours later, the surgery was complete. The Marine was alive. Silence filled the room, but it was different now. It was not doubt. It was recognition. Dr. Cole removed his gloves slowly. For the first time, he looked at Maya not as a newcomer, but as an equal. Word spread quickly through the hospital. Nurses who once whispered now spoke of her with respect. Staff who dismissed her began asking questions about her experience. Still, Maya did not boast. She returned to her routine the next day, reviewing charts and checking on patients quietly. She did not seek revenge or validation. She simply continued working. Days later, the Marine regained full consciousness. He requested to see her. In front of hospital administrators and staff, he recounted how Captain Hart had led a forward surgical team under extreme conditions. He described her courage, her leadership, and the lives she saved. The administrators were surprised. They had not realized the extent of her background. Her records had been modest by design. She had never listed her commendations. She believed skill should speak for itself. The hospital board conducted a review. They discovered that Maya had received multiple military honors for medical bravery. Dr. Cole was called into a meeting. For years, he had been untouchable, his authority unquestioned. But now questions were asked about his behavior, about the culture in his department, about how talent was overlooked because of pride. The shift was quiet but powerful. Maya was offered a leadership role in the trauma unit. She accepted with the same calm expression she always wore. When Dr. Cole approached her later, his voice was less commanding. He admitted he had misjudged her. He said he allowed his ego to cloud his judgment. Maya listened without bitterness. She said that in surgery, what matters is the patient, not pride. Months passed. The trauma unit changed under her guidance. Younger doctors felt heard. Nurses felt respected. The environment became one of collaboration rather than fear. Dr. Cole remained, but he was different. Less sharp. More careful. The hospital began receiving recognition for its improved emergency response outcomes. One evening, Maya stood alone in the quiet hallway outside the operating room. She thought about the first day she arrived, about the whispers, about the humiliation. She remembered the sadness. She remembered the helplessness. She remembered the small quiet hope that kept her there. Patience had not been weakness. It had been strength held in reserve. Justice had not come with shouting or revenge. It had come through skill, through truth revealed at the right moment. The Marine was later discharged, walking steadily with gratitude in his eyes. He saluted her before leaving. She returned the gesture softly. They once thought she was just the new girl. They thought she would fade into the background. But sometimes the quietest person in the room carries the deepest experience. And sometimes justice does not need noise. It only needs time.